Greetings all. Welcome to another episode of Shared Light with Dusty and JR. I am obviously JR.
And I'm Dusty.
We're going to go ahead and do something a little different today. We're going to actively engage in a conversation. It's going to be more of a state of the podcast, state of the family, updates on what's going on in our lives, as this week was very eventful. Monday started off with a little bit of a bang. So I guess it technically was Sunday night that it started.
Yeah.
Sunday night. So for those of you who have been following along, we have mentioned it on the last couple of podcasts that we had an extremely pregnant beagle named
Peachy.
Peachy.
Our Peachy girl.
Don't come at us. We were irresponsible owners.
It was not a planned pregnancy.
We're not a puppy mill or anything like that, but we are here now, right? So taking it back to Sunday night, we had just gotten done editing last week's podcast. We were laying down to go to bed and our Peachy girl started barking.
Yeah, I had noticed though, like right after we got done editing and doing all that, remember her nose was runny.
Oh, that's right.
It was like dripping wet.
Right. That's right.
And when I had looked it up, that was a sign of going into labor.
So yeah, she barked all night.
She messed with her bedding all night,
Messed
like
with
nesting.
Nested all night, cried all night. Long story short, we did not sleep a wink on Sunday night. And then Monday morning, when I finally decided to get out of bed, I went and worked out.
And early Monday morning.
It was early. Yeah, it was.
I think you even got up at like 3:30.
Yeah, I think I got up. It was really early because I ended up going and trying to let her out to see if that would help her.
Yeah.
But we had been very cautious about letting her out because we don't want our puppies outside.
Yeah. And having her separated from the other two.
And we knew it was imminent, just kind of based on everything that we had researched. You know, for context, neither one of us has ever dealt with a dog and puppies.
I have. It was just, I was a kid. I was probably 12.
Yeah. Well, I have never.
I was like our oldest age. So our beagle had babies, but I wasn't, the adult in the situation like I am now.
Yeah. So yeah, we let her out and came back in. I went and worked out. By the time I came in from working out, she was frantically running around the house, pacing, breathing heavy, crying.
She was super uncomfortable.
Yeah, we could not do anything to calm her down.
Her first litter, so she didn't know what was happening or what was going on.
And then it was kind of like nothing, right? She was crying and stuff, but I ended up going to work.
Yeah, you went to work and the girls and I just kind of sat with her, and she was not interested in being in her little kennel. Well, not little kennel, big kennel that we thought was going to be her safety, because it's usually her safety. So we had it all set up and ready, but she changed that plan. And so we ended up making her a little fort, I guess you would call it, in front of the couch.
Yeah. So, I'm going around about my day, and then I'm checking in, see how she's doing or whatever. And then I get a FaceTime call at like 12, and it was my daughter from your phone.
Yeah.
And she just looked at me and said, "The puppy is coming." And I was like, okay. So I went and talked to my boss and just kind of told him what was going on. Left. So she went into active labor at like noon.
Yeah, it was around noon.
Didn't have her first puppy until like right before 2:00, I feel like.
No, was it before 2?
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, okay.
And then we were surprised because she did everything she was supposed to that we read up on.
Yeah.
And then
kind of textbook.
Yeah, it was nature's kind of interesting that way, where they really just have instinctual things that they do. It was kind of weird. We thought we were going to have to step in. And so her first puppy was round 2.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, she started to cycle again. Second puppy was faster. It was like an hour later, I think. 45 minutes. The third one was kind of funny. So the first 2, it was a little rough, I feel like, for the first 2. They didn't come out very active. We had to like really clean up and rub them down. And
I mean, she did everything she was supposed to with all the afterbirth and stuff, but we had to dry them off and get them crying.
Well, and they were cold, and it was, I thought for sure they weren't going to make it, but
you were way more worried than I was.
But no, the first 2, it was kind of textbook, and then she was feeding the first 2, and the third one just kind of popped out.
We did not. It was kind of quick too. Like it wasn't a huge amount of time between the second and third.
Which, looking at it now, the third one is the runt. She's a lot smaller than the other one.
She came out and right away, she didn't want me to do anything. She ran right to mom and started nursing. Like
Yeah,
within 2 minutes.
She came like running out of the.
She was ready to go.
So, by this point, we're thinking everything's going good. And once she started labor with the fourth puppy, she was starting to act kind of weird.
She was exhausted.
Well, that's what we thought, right? Was that she's just exhausted. But even when she was pushing, it was a little different.
Yeah. She wasn't making much progress, I think, when she was pushing.
So then my wife looks down and is like, oh, crap, that's a paw.
Mm-hmm. Just a paw, not in the sack. Just a paw sticking out.
So the fourth one they called it a breech birth. So she was turned around, was not making a whole lot of headway. I called the vet at that point because I wasn't sure what was going on.
You were freaking out.
I was freaking out. My daughter's freaking out because at this point you can tell the dog is struggling, and you just ripped off your Clark Kent suit and put on your Superman suit. And
I went into mode of my dog is going to die if I don't get this puppy out.
So yeah, we looked it up as fast as we could and found that you can assist with the birth by pulling when the dog is pushing to
gently.
To help advance.
Not like yanking.
And you straight I was like amazed. I've never been in so much awe of you as I was in that point. Because
my thinking at the time, though, was for Peachy, of course, but also on a farm, they do it with cows.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
That's what I said. They do it with cows. Why could you not? It's the same process.
And that one actually got stuck about halfway up. that was a rough war.
Got stuck, I think.
For both the dog and my kids and me. You were just I think when it was all said and done, adrenaline kicked in because you were super shaky. But
wow, I was just scared that one of them was not alive.
Well, and that last one, it took us all of 10 minutes to get it.
Yeah, it needed some extra help.
But I'm happy to report that Mama's safe.
She's doing good.
She had 4 female puppies.
All female, no males, which is rare.
They are doing great. We've been tracking their weight. They're eating. They're warm. She has been doing... I was commenting yesterday that she's a lot like my wife in the sense that she's very anxious about
she's overprotective mama.
Everything going on with her babies. First 2 days, anytime that she wasn't touching them, she would cry.
Yeah,
and cry
they had to be on her for the first few, I would even say 4 days solid. She had to have them on her at all times, even when they were sleeping.
Yeah, it was at one point we tried to move them into a kennel in our room thinking, oh, that's going to be a lot safer for her. Yeah, that didn't work at all. So yeah, we've got this little puppy den in the middle of our living room.
It's kind of cornered off, the couch, and then it's cornered off right here with the ottoman. So it's right in the middle of our living room. That's how we've been living.
So it's
been a little chaotic.
It's been very chaotic.
No sleep.
We have not slept I think last night was the first night my wife got some decent sleep.
Yeah.
I slept pretty decent. I think it was the second night you let me come in here to go to sleep.
Yeah. It was the middle of the week, so you had to go work.
Yeah, so through the whole thing, I've cut out of work a few times early, but I've been working and just doing the puppy things. Through it all, what do you think you've learned the most?
I don't know. I probably that I'm not as young as I once was. I cannot do without sleep for 4 or 5 days in a row. That's probably my number one lesson. Number 2 is I never want to do this again. Puppies are not for the faint of heart.
Those are all valid. That's all very easy. Yeah, I think for me, obviously what you mentioned, I couldn't function for a few days. I was brain dead, but
today's probably the first day I actually feel rested. I could still sleep, but I feel rested and I feel not in a brain fog. Everything's just jumbled in there.
Yeah, through it all, I've been trying also I've got a pretty important class I'm going through right now for a leadership certificate tied to my bachelor's degree. So being able to navigate all of it has been a little bit difficult.
The kids have really stepped up.
I think that's what I've learned the most is that my girls, for all the credit that I don't give them for the things that they don't do around the house, have stepped in and just been amazing with all of it. My oldest and my youngest were there through the entire birth. Yeah. They did not leave Peach's side. They did not leave our side.
No.
The first 2 nights, my youngest stayed up late so that we could get some sleep and watch the puppies, and then woke.
Our oldest too, though.
Oh yeah, my oldest. That's right. She was
slept in shifts.
She was calling every couple hours to make sure my youngest wasn't asleep.
Yeah, they were playing Fortnite together. So she was in her room, but she stayed up with her.
And tying it back to message and everything that goes on with our podcast. The power of coming together in situations when things like that can easily create a lot of contention and a lot of animosity in a household, particularly in our case where, Dusty took on a brunt of watching the puppies, staying up with them, getting up with them. It's really easy in situations like that, if you're not careful, to build some resentment and feel like, well, nobody's helping me. Right. Yeah. So, I know I've told you already, but honestly, thank you for everything that you've done the last week. There is absolutely no way I could have done that on my own. No way. Yeah. Aside from that, that has been a big part of everything going on at home the last about month. Yeah. Dealing with the dog, keeping them separated. It's a full-time job when you have a zoo in our house.
We chose this life.
And my kids are great. My kids help out as they can, and but they're kids and they don't want to feel obligated to do things.
And I think that's really the driver in me is like you still work and you still have school and you still have those responsibilities, but also the kids, I don't want to put, they're still kids. We're the adults in the situation. So I don't want to put it all on them. I appreciate all of their help, but ultimately it's up to us. So
the last few nights we've, camped out in the living room together, set up an air mattress, which broke my back. But
I think that was one of the hardest things for me is sleeping on the couch was not good for me, but I can't sleep without you. So
well, we talked about that, right? In our last episode of Ordinary Life, the Ordinary Life, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you take for granted sometimes. And then when it's not there, it's, oh crap, this is kind of a big deal.
Especially when you're already tired, you have lack of sleep already, and then you're not able to have your normal routine of when you go to bed and going to bed with you and those things. It makes it a little bit harder, but you do what you got to do. It's temporary.
Come a week later, again, the puppies are doing great. They've been gaining weight. We anticipate them opening eyes and ears in the next few days, I would imagine.
Yeah, this week sometime. Our youngest is itching to get them a little bit bigger and playful so that she can play with them and hold them.
Yeah, which Mama has been amazing. She hasn't really gotten aggressive. I've been around some dogs that get aggressive when they have their puppies.
She gets a little uncomfortable and she'll whine, but we try not to hold them a whole lot right now.
Yeah.
Just because we know it makes her nervous. But
so on top of that, as I mentioned, been doing school, which is tied to some things I'm doing at work and some things that I'm doing outside of work. So trying to integrate everything while navigating everything we got going on at home has been a little bit stressful. It did feel like I was able to breathe once the babies came.
Yeah, because I think the anticipation of it, and now it's like, okay, they're here. We just need to incorporate it into our daily routine now.
Yeah. And then in other news, I've got some other things that I'm working on outside of work that actually we've got some traction on, I feel like. So, there might be some changes coming with that. But outside of that, as much as we like to speak about the ordinary and how simple our life is, it has been a little bit chaotic the last month or so, and particularly this last week, kind of everything just peaked at the same time. And it was like that moment when you feel like this is the test, like you're going to see if you can handle this and see what comes out the other side. But again,
we did it.
Yeah. It's not anything to take lightly because again, we stepped up and just kind of rallied as a family. We've all contributed in our own way to ensure that Mama was safe, puppies were safe, people are sleeping, people are eating, people are taken care of and doing what they need to do, which again ties back a lot into what we talk about, that if you're not intentional, even in those hard moments, it's real easy to lose sight of what is important.
Yeah. And you may not be able to as easily get through those chaotic moments that you do have, or chaotic periods of time when things are just off schedule and not what you're used to and easygoing.
Yeah. So again, we were shooting a little bit from the hip. I want to talk a little bit about the state of the podcast. We are 27 episodes in now.
Yep.
And I want to say we're over 1,000 listens.
Yeah, we're almost at 1,200.
I'm not sure where we're at on views on YouTube, but
we're at 117,000, I believe.
So,
107,
first and foremost, thank you all for that are listening, that are watching. We appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah.
When we started this, I don't think we ever envisioned even getting to where we're at today.
No, I think, and I don't even know that we've talked about this before, but our intention has always been with this podcast and why we started it kind of is just to help somebody or multiple people, but it's also something that we wanted to do together, something like our working out that we do or whatever. It's something else that we wanted to share and do together. And so we never came onto the podcast or created it because we wanted to go viral or be influencers or we're looking at millions of views. We've slowly and steadily and organically grown it because those are the people we want to reach.
Right.
We want to reach those people that are struggling maybe in their marriage or need some help with certain situations or
just want to hear a different perspective.
Yeah, just want to see or hear or, you're not the only one that does have an ordinary life and marriage and not everything is grand 100% of the time. So for me, those 1,200 listens, that's huge for me because that's something that I know is organic and it's reaching the people we intended it to reach.
Well, and for that, I hope that people are getting value from what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And they're able to, even if it's just, like you said, to hear somebody else that has a boring life or whatever you want to call it. I think people need that. They need to be able to relate to other people. They need to understand that not everything is this grandiose idea or this grandiose relationship of things that you are constantly moving toward. As we talked about, it is really about being in the trenches together. It really is about all of the little things that you do in your day to help navigate life together. And this is one of those examples, this whole puppy fiasco, which it will forever live in infamy as the puppy fiasco, has really just highlighted that we are actively utilizing the tools and are self-aware enough to know that that could have went 100 different ways if we would have just not approached it the way we approached it.
Yeah.
So, and there was other things that came into play. Lack of sleep does create frustration. It does create anxiety. It does create all these other things that also start to help drive to create tension or create more stress. I feel like when stress hits, little things will start compounding it to really just hyper focus that stress. And again, if you're not careful, it's really easy to look at it as the way a lot of people approach it, where they're not facing the problem, they're facing each other.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to take a step back at the very beginning and identify like it has to be us. The only way that this is going to work is if we all do it. Right.
Yeah. We work as a team.
So, outside of that, everything else has been fairly normal. Sleep's getting back to normal, hopefully. We're hoping to be able to sleep in our bed tonight.
Let's see if we can try the kennel again, if she'll be able to be in there with the babies or not.
Yeah. And then what else went on this week? I feel like we are getting geared up for school.
Yeah.
My girls are not excited about school.
It always sucks when summer break ends. They still got a couple weeks though.
Yeah, but just the sheer mention of going to bed early and beginning a routine has been...
We have to start that. So they're back in their normal sleep routines.
And it's going to be a little interesting to see how my oldest does, because one of her little best friends moved away. So
yeah, but she's got 2 of her cousins going to her school this year, so she's excited about that. My sister's girls start middle school, so they're going to start going to her school, so she's excited about that.
We'll see how that goes. But that's kids, I think. That's just life with kids. Through everything going on, again, there's school, there's puppies, there's everything going on with me, with my schooling, with all the other stuff that I got going on outside of work, which I don't want to speak on too much. But
eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Through it all, and we touched on this a little bit last episode, I don't think we argued once.
No. I may have been short with people this week because I haven't had that much sleep. I think Thursday came and I had like 12 hours total of sleep since Saturday night. But through it all, even the kids have been willing to just jump in and help.
My niece came over as well and stayed with us a few days.
Yeah, she's a couple years younger than our youngest. So that just added another little... We love having her, but I was like, sure, why not? We already have a circus. What's one more?
They did really well. Downside to when that happened is it shifts the focus from the stuff we need to do to wanting to have a lot more fun and
Yeah, I think that's been the hardest for our kids. This summer, I think, is the first summer we haven't actually gone and done we don't usually do grand, big Disney vacations but we do.
We do a fair amount of weekends up in the hills.
Yeah, we do the
out
cabin.
fishing and
we try to take them places every summer. This one just was a little different. There was the pregnant dog and the puppies and
just our financial
stuff. And yeah, I mean, so it's a little different this year for them. They're not used to not being able to just up and go and do stuff like we have been before. So, but I feel like they've done very well with it. You know, my mom's been really good about coming to get them and taking them to do things. And she took them on a little shopping spree a couple weekends ago to get some stuff that they wanted. But honestly, I think that this summer is going to be one that they remember. Like it'll be a good memory for them because I feel like it's one of the first times we've actually had. I mean, we go and do things and we spend time with them, but it's usually distracted because you're doing activities and the memory is the fun and the things you get to buy or the things you get to do. But this summer has been more, we're all together. We're talking, we're having these conversations. We're really just the four of us bonding. So I think that's going to be a really good memory for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been different in that aspect that both of them have really just gravitated toward. And I mean, you guys remember, not even 2 months ago, my little one was at a point where she didn't even want to talk to us. So for us, it's huge that they are both just actively engaged. I mean, we had a movie night last night, and it was the first time we've had a movie night. Well, I think it's been longer. I think it's probably been a year, maybe even a year and a half. Yeah, since we had an actual movie night.
I mean,
but either way, we actually let them watch some movies that are a little bit.
They're not bad.
They're not bad, but they're not rated for kids. But
we watched White Chicks and Role Models.
Yeah, let them watch some stuff that we used to watch that we thought was funny. And I mean, they loved it. They were laughing. And my little one at the beginning said, I don't like watching movies like this. And
she did not want to watch it.
By the end, she was cackling and laughing. And it was a good time. I think we went to bed. It was pretty late. It's probably around midnight last night, which is late, really late for us.
For us, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it was, moments like that, I won't change for anything. Especially with them being at the age now where I feel like this is the stuff that they are going to remember. And this is the stuff that they're going to tell their kids about. Mm-hmm. Maybe not this particular movie night, but I mean, it's these instances and these types of memories that they gravitate back to. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. You remember being my daughter's age and having puppies.
Yep, very clearly. And I don't have a whole lot of memories, but I do remember that.
So on another note, we've been really just trying to fine tune the cadence of the podcast.
Yeah.
We're still actively striving to have an episode weekly, but we may end up leaning towards more of these types of episodes that are going to be a little bit shorter and more just the state of our life, state of what's happening, really because as you probably have surmised by now, we didn't have a lot of time to really look at anything else, to do any kind of research. And while we have a lot of insight on our marriage, we do still like to look at other things going on to, again, provide more perspective, give our take, reinforce some of the things that we talk about, whatever it may be. But it is not lost on me that we did not have time to do any of that this week. I could talk to you about leadership in Mexico. I did have time to do that this week, which is a topic for another podcast and another episode probably, but
yeah, I could probably talk to you about newborn puppies and baking. That's been my life.
So yeah, we really just wanted to center everything and bring everybody up to date where we're at with things. I do feel like, again, some of the stress that we have been feeling has been alleviated just a little bit, just with the dog situation alone. That relieves some stress.
Yeah.
And then, as I mentioned, there's some things that are happening in the background a little bit that are gaining momentum that
hopefully we can share soon.
We're starting to see some light, I feel like, at the end of the tunnel. So, and again, you have to have the dark to have the light, vice versa, unfortunately. But wherever there's dark, you're going to find some light. So with that, I do want to wish you all a blessed week. I want to reiterate that we thank you from the bottom of our heart for writing this journey with us and for listening. And keep sharing your light with others, and we will catch you on the next one.